Hello, this is Amy Garcia, and I'd like to call to order the Education Committee of the Kansas State Board of Nursing.
Thank you.
And would like to take an attendance. I'm here, Amy Garcia, and who else is on the call?
Tasha Fields.
Thank you, Tasha.
Mr. Spain, are you able to reply?
Yep. Troy Spain's here.
Thank you, Troy. And who from staff is on the call?
You have myself, Adrian Guerrero, Director of Operations.
Jill Simons,
And
Executive Assistant. Sorry, go ahead, Janelle.
That's all right. Janelle Martin,
Great.
Education Compliance Officer.
Great. So
There you
I'm
go.
going to walk us through the agenda, and Jill or Janelle, there are several things that I'd like to call on you to talk about, and if there's anything you would like to be considered, please let us know as we go. So the
Thank you.
second item is additions or revisions to the agenda. Do we have any additions or revisions to the agenda as it's written?
This is Adrian Guerrero. There's no additions from the staff side. I'll let the board chime in if they had anything. I mean, committee, rather.
I don't see anything. This is Tasha Fields.
No changes.
Great. And the third item is announcements. Are there any announcements?
Madam Chair, this is Adrian
Well-
Guerrero.
We'll need
The
a
only
motion to, yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead.
yeah, apologies.
Go ahead, Adrian.
The only announcements is that we're going to need to table the petition summary as those are going to be handled differently now by the board staff.
Okay. Then we'll need a motion to table the item for the petition summary 2/21/26 to 5/15/26 until the next meeting. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda as revised?
I move to accept the agenda as revised. Fields.
Well, second, Spain.
Wonderful. All in agreement? Aye.
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 Aye. Good. We'll move forward with the agenda as revised. So we will start right into the site visit reports. And I want to thank the staff for making sure that this new committee of the board was able to see the materials to review. And the way I think we'll proceed with this is that I'll announce the school that we're discussing. And Janelle, would you read the recommendations of the committee that did the actual site visit? So the very last part of the reports.
Correct.
Does that make sense to everybody on the call to approach it this way?
Yes.
Okay, that'll give us time to hear their recommendations, to ask any questions, discuss anything, and either approve the recommendations or delay action until our next full meeting of this committee.
Okay.
So let's start with WSU Tech. PN program. Janelle, would you read us the recommendations?
I would be glad to. This is for, as you said, the PN program. This was a 5-year reapproval. There were 2 site visitors. Our recommendations, and you can see there are also some strengths, lots of strengths and opportunities, but to review and strengthen how they keep their faculty files in accordance with KSBN required documentation. I've already been sent an updated copy of that process. So they have already, I've already approved that process for them at this point. Ensure that all clinical contracts have language addressing the staffing, that staffing is independent of student roles. And I know they're working on that. And then a recommendation for reapproval for 5 years if all recommendations are completed by the due dates. And if there are any questions, I'm glad to address those.
So, Ms. Fields, Mr. Spain, do either of you have questions about the site visit report recommendations for WSU Tech PN program?
I do not know.
No, I do not.
Okay. I also do not have any questions, and do we need a motion to approve the report, or what action is needed for the staff to continue?
We
their work?
we do need a motion, and we do have motions written that Jill can help you with,
Lovely.
as if that would be helpful.
That would be most helpful. Jill, would you share the motion that you've prepared, and we can discuss the motion?
Yes, is there a board member that would like to make the following motion? I move to accept the reapproval site visit report with recommendations for WSU Tech PN program and reapprove the program for 5 years.
This is Fields. I would make that motion, yes.
Garcia, second.
Okay, it's been approved.
Vote.
Great. So I'd like to hold a vote. All who approve signal with aye.
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 Aye. And opposed? None. So that report is approved as written. Do we need any other action related to WSU Tech PN program?
I don't believe so.
Wonderful. Then we'll move forward. The next on the agenda, item B, is Mid-America College of Health Sciences PN program. Janelle, could you read the recommendations of the committee?
Yeah, give me just a second. I went past my spot. I'm sorry, I guess my agenda packet is different. I'm looking. This you
No,
wanted
that was on the
Mid-America.
on-site. If you remember, in June, that was put in the on-site packet. I can send that to you if you don't have it.
I'm re-forwarding the email from yesterday, Janelle.
Thank you. I will get to that. I apologize.
Okay. We will move forward. Janelle, are you ready to move forward to the next one and we can come back to Mid-America?
Yes, that would be great if we could do the others on there and then we can do that one last one. I can grab that packet.
Okay. Okay. Let's move to item C. We will return to item B in a moment. Item C is Ottawa University BSN program.
Okay,
Can
so thank
you
you. I do have that
read-
one.
Can you read the recommendations for Ottawa University BSN program site visit?
Yes, and just to let you know, this was actually a follow-up after first graduation site visit. So Ottawa University is in their initial approval. And at the end of the initial approval, we do a follow-up after they have their first graduation. So this is the site visit from that particular visit. And this visit generally in terms of what going forward would be whether they move forward into full approval or denial of the program at this phase of the where our regulations stand in terms of actions. So what we had for recommendation was to ask them to clarify the language in their student versus employee role policy. It helped to differentiate some of the expectations. Continue with the already planned improvements to their student preparation for the NCLEX. They had a small number in their first graduating class, so it was a little bit low. And approval of the program for 5 years or to coincide with the next CCNE accreditation visit, which they are an initial accreditation with CCNE. And that's the last one.
Okay, Mr. Spain or Ms. Fields, do you have any questions or discussion related to the recommendations?
I do not.
I do not.
I also am satisfied by the content of the report and the recommendations. Do we have a motion? Can you share a prepared motion so that the group can discuss and move forward?
Yes. Is
Jill?
there a board member
Thank you.
who would like to make the following motion? I move to accept the approval site visit report with recommendations for Ottawa University BSN program and approve the program for a time period consistent with national accreditation, 5 years.
So moved, Garcia.
Field second.
All in favor, signal by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Spain,
Aye.
thank you. The ayes have it, so we will consider that recommendation, that report and recommendation approved. We will proceed to item D, which is Donnelly College PN/ADN program. Can you share the recommendations of the site visit?
Yes. So thank you, Madam Chair. Just a reminder, the report is for both programs. Just a quick update. This report actually has our last 3 visits on it. We chose to do it that way to show what our due diligence was while we were there and kind of what's happened in the meantime. So that's why I apologize. It's a little bit hard to follow in places, but we tried to color code it that way. So there's a lot of information there. I mean, I'm getting down to the recommendations. They were put on conditional approval after an unscheduled visit due to some problems that they were having. They've had, there were several turnovers of faculty and directors. We were getting a lot of student complaints. And so we kind of came around full circle. We did a meeting we did a site visit in May at their request. We had asked for at least a year for them to get the house in order. But they had hired a new director in January and had made some, what they felt like were significant improvements. And so the board did grant that site visit to be done in May. So the recommendations I'm reading now are from that May meeting. And I'll just take it from the report. And it states that based on substantial improvements in climate, communication, and information from faculty and students, that they recommend continued conditional approval, allowance for a fall admission of no more than 30 PN students, and they can still do day or evening cohorts, but wherever they want to put those 30 students. And then for us to do a follow-up, just a one-day follow-up visit in the fall of 2026 to verify that the continuation of improvements are occurring. And provided a satisfactory visit at that time, we could do an approval to admit up to 30 PN students, beginning biannually in the spring of 27. So that's a total of 30 for day and evening cohorts. We recommended a focus visit in the late spring of 2027 to evaluate and assess the progress and compliance. And if satisfactory, we could move forward with possibly with the RN students at that point. The programs have been in a lot of turmoil. The students were really feeling that. So that's why we felt like this was the progress. There were three site visitors at this visit, the last 2 visits that we've done rather than just 2. And then Donnelly will provide focused update reports at each education committee meeting beginning in September 2026. So that's what's in the recommendations. If there are any other questions, I'd be glad to entertain those.
Ms. Fields, Mr. Spain, do either of you have questions about the full report or the report from May with the recommendations for moving forward?
The faculty and the students are feeling better overall. When you were there, you had a better feel of it?
Yes, I think overall the communications were better. They're trying to get some things in place. I think the concern continues to be that we've had 2 years of the pass rates have been dropping fairly dramatically. So that was one of the reasons we wanted a little more time. We were also looking to see how they might have started. Obviously, at the time, they were just getting out of school. They weren't quite out yet. So we didn't have any new NCLEX reports to share until now. So that was another of the things that we were concerned about. But overall climate, they have a new director. I know they've hired a new simulation coordinator, which was a problem they were having. And as far as I know, at this point in time, I haven't heard anything differently. The faculty that they had in the spring of 26 will all be there for fall of 26, which is a vast improvement from where they had been in terms of stability.
All right. I don't have any other question.
That answers mine as well. Thank you.
And we will readdress this in September when we meet for our full meeting.
We have asked them to bring update reports to each of the meetings, so there will be an opportunity
Right.
for questions. I think the biggest thing right now is they've been waiting on a decision of whether they can admit their PN students in the fall.
So, Ms. Fields, Mr. Spain, do you have any concerns about supporting Donnelly College to admit PN students in the fall?
I don't at this time. I would like to see them be able to admit the students, because if they don't, that's a fiscal issue, and it would be really hard to stay going. I'd like to see them give it a shot.
Agreed. I think the touch points
I
that
have
we've
to
talked
agree.
about. Yeah.
I have to agree. It seems to me that there is a real concerted effort to do the things that are needed. So do we have a motion related to accepting the recommendations for Donnelly College program?
If you want them as written, I believe we do.
Yes, we
So
do.
if you'll give it as written, and then if there are any changes, we can discuss that.
Is there a board member that would like to make the following motion? I move to accept the approval site visit report with recommendations for Donnelly College PN ADN programs and approve to conduct a focus site visit in late spring 2027.
That's not the only recommendation.
Okay, that's the only.
If that's what's there, I can.
Recommendations is also included quarterly updates.
Mhm.
May I make a stab at that?
Yes.
I
Yes.
think I had a motion written. It may not, I'm not sure why we may not have it in there. We've had a lot of changes. So would there be a
Sure.
board member who would like to make the following recommendation? To keep Donnelly on conditional approval, to allow a fall admission of no more than 30 PN students, to do a follow-up one-day site visit in the fall of 2026 to verify the continuation of improvements, and that Donnelly will provide focused update reports at each KSBN education meeting beginning September 2026 until the board determines they no longer need to do that.
I would like to make, this is Garcia, I'd like to make one change in that. I'd like it to say 1 day or more as needed.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay,
And Garcia moves to accept that motion with changes, with the changes.
This is Fields. I will second.
I'll call for a vote. All who support the motion signal by saying aye.
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 Aye. The motion is passed. Thank you very much. Are we ready to move back to item B, Mid-America College of Health Sciences PN program?
yes, Madam Chair, I now have that report in front of me. Thank you.
Fabulous,
So
fabulous.
Mid-America College of Health Sciences
Okay.
is a PN program. They have been on conditional approval. They had their first graduating class in 2023, I believe. We did a follow-up after first graduation visit. The rates were only at 47%, so we had some concern. We delayed making an initial decision until another site visit could be done. And at that time, they were put on conditional and allowed to admit another cohort. They were already in the middle of another. So the last 3 years of pass rates have been 47%, 63%, and 62%. And that was one of our main concerns. They have also had some changes in directorship and some changes in faculty. The last year has been pretty stable. However, there have just been several things. We haven't been able to get an advisory committee together that's really been advising that program, even after several attempts to kind of say what's needed for that. So there's a whole timeline in your report. So I'm going to go to the recommendations at this point. And what that the recommendations that we have right now are a little bit general. We asked for an updated NCLEX improvement plan to be submitted by August 15th for inclusion in the September board meeting packet. The program director is to attend the September board meeting and present that updated plan along with some updated statistics on the first-time pass rates for the college or for the school and to the education committee and the board, however that looks. And due to the 3 years of below standard NCLEX first-time pass rates, we recommend continued conditional approval with a cease admission status with a review of first-time pass rates for the 25-26 cohort to be done at the September 2026 board meetings. I can give you an update on where they are at the second quarter of their NCLEX. I will tell you that at the time, within the week after our site visit, they did have a director change again. And so both their full-time faculty are no longer with them that were there during the past year. They do have a new director appointed. She was the one who was originally there that had gone to part-time faculty. She's now back as the director. So that's what I can tell you at this time, unless I can can give you the update on the NCLEX report. We never consider it a final, obviously, until we get to the annual, but we did kind of want to look and see. That's why we asked for the September update before doing anything about granting admission. So questions?
So in September, we will hear about the update for the NCLEX pass rate and those who delay taking the NCLEX.
It's whatever their plan. We just asked them to bring their updated plan and let us know what they were doing to improve the pass rates. And also to take a look at where their pass rates were for the year at that time.
Having read the report, this seems a very fair approach. Ms. Fields, Mr. Spain, do either of you have questions or items to discuss from the report or the recommendations?
No, I don't think that I have anything. We're gonna have to give them some time to get their feet back underneath them, I think, but they have to show some progress with these NCLEX scores. So no, I don't have any changes or anything.
Mr. Spain?
I do not.
Okay. I will look forward to the September meeting and hearing a plan. Do we have a motion to accept the report and recommendations as written?
Yes, I can read that. Is there a board member
Thank you.
who would like to make the following change? I move to accept the approval site visit report with recommendations for Mid-America College of Health Sciences PN program to continue on conditional approval with cease omission status with a review of first-time pass rates for the 25-26 cohort at the September 2026 KSBN board meeting.
So moved.
Fields, I'll second.
Garcia, second. I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion as written, say aye.
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 Aye. The motion is passed. And we are ready to move to the next section of our board meeting, the major curriculum change requests. Does anybody need a break for a moment?
I am fine.
Mr. Spain? Okay, we will
I am
keep
good.
moving through. Good. So on major curriculum change request, item A is Barton Community College PN program. Janelle, can you summarize or provide the motion?
I would be glad to. Barton Community College is asking for their practical nursing program. They want to move their gerontology course and their professional roles course to an online format and do it in 8-week sessions. This is a change from what they had done before from face-to-face. And so they're asking approval to move those to an online format. No change to content.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept this and we can discuss or ask questions? Mr. Fields, Mr. Bain, Ms. Fields, do either of you have questions or points of discussion?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine with moving that to the online.
Agreed.
All righty. Is there a motion?
Yes. Is there a board member who would like to make the following motion? I move to accept the major curricular change request for Barton Community College PN program to move NURS 2010 gerontology and NURS 1265 professional roles to an online format and 8-week sessions.
Mrs. Fields, I will make motion.
Garcia, second. And I'll call for a vote. And we've got some background noise.
Really good stuff. Really good stuff. So.
I apologize. That's me. I'm going to mute myself for the.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll call for a vote. All in favor signal by aye.
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 Aye. The motion is passed. Okay. We'll move forward with item B, Salina Area Technical College PN program. Janelle, do you have update?
Madam Chair, I think she's asking, she's at a conference right now and asking for the participants to be a little quiet.
I did just that. Thank you. I'm sorry. It's a public space. They, for some reason, like we couldn't find someplace. It's a university. I was kind of surprised, but anyway, are we ready for Salina Area Tech?
We are.
Yes.
We passed Barton County, so we're
Okay.
ready for Salina Area Technical.
And I believe Salina actually has two, and I believe we did this as one motion last time. So I'm going to talk about the first one and then the second one so you can just look at them together, if that's okay with you, Madam Chair.
That's exactly what I'm hoping for.
Okay. So the first change that they're looking for is to take a credit hour from their Nurse 101 clinical course, which is a foundations course. It has been a 2-credit hour, and put that 1 credit hour into their foundations didactic. They feel like it would serve them better to have that in their didactic course, and that they can meet all of their clinical objectives in the 1 credit hour for the clinical for the foundations course. So that is one change. And then let me move to the second one. The second one is also for their PN program, and it's to move 1 credit hour from their Med-Surg clinical, their Med-Surg 1 clinical, and add that credit hour to pharmacology. So it's a little bit different. It still does not change their overall credit hours, but it allows them to put the didactic hours where they need it and still meet their clinical objectives. So the two things are what they're asking for, to move those 2 credit hours.
Great. Do we have any questions or discussions? Ms. Fields, Mr. Spain?
I do not.
I do not.
Great. Do we have a motion written?
Yes. Is there a board member who would like to make the following change? I move to recommend approval. I move to accept the major curricular change request for Salina Area Technical College PN program to move 1 credit hour from NUR 101 Foundations Clinical to NUR 100 Foundations of Nursing Didactic. Students are meeting the objectives of NUR 101 in 1 credit hour 45 contact hours. And it was moved to accept the major curricular change request for Salina Area Technical College PN program to change NUR 113 Adult Care 1 Clinical from 3 credit hours to 2 credit hours and add 1 credit hour to NUR 104 Pharmacology. No change to overall credit hours.
Very good. Any discussion or questions?
No.
Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Approval of this motion is written, signal by saying aye.
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 Aye. The motion
sorry.
is passed.
Excuse me, who made the motion and who did the second? Did I miss that?
Garcia,
Garcia did the motion and then who did the second?
I did. Spain.
Okay, sorry. Okay, thank you.
so we'll move forward to item C, Ottawa University
Thank you, Madam
BSN
Chair.
program. Mhm.
Yes, we have two, actually, again, another one where we have two curriculum changes that we could have put into one motion. So it was presented as two separate, but they are basically one motion at this time. So what they're proposing to do is to change their pathophysiology class to an on-ground format, as well as their pharmacology class to an on-ground format. Previously, both of those classes, or actually 3 classes, their pharmacology is in 2 classes, had been done as a hybrid, and with some changes that they're trying to do to strengthen their NCLEX pass rates, they've asked to move both of these two back to an on-ground format, I think to a completely on-ground format for both of those courses, pathophysiology and pharmacology.
Very good. Any discussion?
No, I really
Questions?
like that. I like that because those are some tough classes.
Yes. Makes great sense. Great sense. Hearing no questions, is there a motion written?
Yes. Is there a board member who would like to make the following motion? I move to accept the major curricular change request for Ottawa University BSN program to offer NRS 32001 pathophysiology in an on-ground delivery format, and it was moved to accept the major curricular change request from Ottawa University BSN program to have an option for NRS 32004 and NRS 32010 pharmacology to be presented in an on-ground delivery format.
Mrs. Fields,
Garcia, so moved.
I will
Okay.
second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. We'll call for a vote. All who approve signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion has passed. We'll move to item D on the agenda, Forte State University BSN program.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will try to do this justice. The program directors usually come and present these, and so they've done a great job. But what they are requesting for their BSN program, they've put several changes into this one request. They want to remove the CNA as a prerequisite, and they're going to incorporate their 104 lab, their nursing fundamentals, as a 1 credit hour hybrid lab course. They're moving their nursing 313 nursing professional development from the junior semester to 1 semester to the junior 2 semester as an online course. And then they're wanting to reduce the credits of their NURS 413 transition to practice in the senior 2nd semester from 3 credits to 2 credits. The course objective and course outcomes for these courses have been revised to help meet the 2021 ASIN Essentials Domains and Concepts. So bottom line for that is they've made those changes and moves, but it has not changed their overall credit hours. So there's been no change to the credit hours, just to how they're organizing that content and where they're putting it in the curriculum.
Sounds smart. Do we have any discussion of these suggested changes?
Do they say why they wanted to get rid of the CNA as a prereq?
I think that has to do with it's been one of those things where CNA courses have not always been comparable, and I think they're doing a lot of reteaching. And what I've heard from several schools is that while it has been a universal requirement, I've seen several schools contemplating dropping that as a requirement, because some of them are coming in with the license or the certification for the CNA, but they haven't used it. So it really hasn't gotten them where they thought they would, because they're reteaching things. That's the rationale I've heard. So it's not that they don't value that and that they can't come in with that, but they are doing some rework in that. That's what that hybrid lab course is for their fundamentals, is to help them address some of that they're seeing, either deficiencies that they're seeing or reteaching that they've been doing.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I'm trying to say how they said that to me, but that's kind of the bottom line.
Absolutely. I don't have any questions. Any others?
I don't either. Hearing no additional discussion, do we have a motion?
Yes. Is there a board member who would like to make the following motion? It was moved to accept the major curricular change request from the Fort Hays State University BSN program to remove CNA as a prerequisite to the nursing program, incorporate 104L Nursing Fundamental Lab as a 1 credit hour hybrid lab course, move NURS 313 Nursing Professional Development from the Junior 1 semester to the Junior 2 semester, and change to an online delivery for the course, and reduce the credits of NURS 413 transition to practice in the Senior 2 semester from 3 credits to 2 credits. The course objective and course outcomes for NURS 104L Nursing Fundamentals have been revised to meet the 2021 AACN Essentials, Domains, and Concepts.
Garcia, so moved.
Fields will second.
I'll call for a vote to support, signal by saying aye.
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 Aye. The motion has passed. Let's move to item E on the agenda, Fort Hays Tech, North Central Hays PN program.
Madam Chair, may I ask, I'm not sure if this is possible, and anybody could correct me if I'm wrong, but Fort Hays Tech North Central has 2 nursing programs, one in Hays and one in Beloit. And they both have the same curriculum change, or both have the same curriculum change on the table. And I'm wondering if we can consider both schools in this motion as they're exactly the same request.
I would like to do it that way.
Okay. It would essentially be reading the same motion for each one. So I'm going to present what that change is, and it will stand for both nursing programs for Fort Hays Tech. It's just because they stand separately in terms of their accreditation, and they both admit PN and ADN students. They have different staff, so they both have to have the approval, but it's the same one.
So
all right, so go ahead.
We can vote separately. We can
Okay.
vote on Hays and vote on Beloit.
That would probably be wise, but so the
Okay,
change is
let's do that.
this. Okay, the change is this, that they're requesting to combine their NUR 107 basic pharmacology and their NUR 108 math calculations courses into one course. Each of those courses are a credit hour, and combining them, it will become a 2 credit hour class. And then once they'll get a number for the class once we have approved it. Their academic affairs committee has already approved it. So they're trying to get a couple of their courses in line so that they're doing it all at the same time. So it will become one course for their pharmacology and math, what we call nurse math, but that math calculations course. It doesn't change their credit hours.
Okay.
Very good. Is there any discussion, Mr. Spain, Ms. Fields?
I have no questions or discussion.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Me too.
Okay.
Let's call for a motion specific to Hayes.
Okay. Is there a board member who would like to make the following motion? I move to accept the major curricular change request from the Fort Hays Tech NC Hayes PN program to combine NUR 107 Basic Pharmacology and NUR 108 Math Calculations courses into one 2 credit hour class, NUR 103 Pharmacology.
I move to accept the motion as written. Mrs. Fields?
I'll second Spain.
I'll call for a vote. All who support signal by saying aye.
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 Aye. The motion has passed. Let's now consider the same motion related to the Beloit campus. Do we need to reread the motion, or can we vote on the motion applied to the Beloit campus?
Might
I
be
think
good
we
to
can
reread it.
Reread it? Oh,
Okay.
Is there a board member who would
Okay,
like to
that's
make
fine.
the following motion? I move to accept the major curricular change request from the Fort Hays Tech NC Beloit PN program to combine NUR 107 Basic Pharmacology and NUR 108 Math Calculation courses into one 2 credit hour course or class, NUR 103 Pharmacology.
I'll
This
call
is-
for a vote. All who support signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Did we
Aye.
make the motion on that again?
I would say yes. We need to
I'll-
know.
I'll move to accept the motion as written for Beloit.
Okay,
And I'll second.
okay.
And I'll call for a vote on accepting the motion as written.
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor say aye. Aye. The motion as written is passed. Now we vote on the motion.
They've done that.
Are we ready for a vote on the motion
Yes.
related to the Beloit campus? Okay, very good. I'll call for a vote. Signal support with saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Spain?
Aye.
The motion has passed. Wonderful. Stick with me, we're almost there. So item number F is Barclay College BSN program.
And Madam Chair, this one's just a little bit more complicated. Kim presented it very, very well, but basically this is a BSN program that is, they've been approved for about 3 years, but they've been in the process of ramping up. They started with an RN to BSN program. So they are putting their pre-licensure BSN program in place. And as they were doing that, so this is addressing the last 4 semesters of their nursing program, which is basically the nursing program. And they made some changes to that. It originally was a program that required, I'm going to read some of this because I think she says it best, that they were looking at the plan of study that was currently being delivered and decided that a Bachelor of Arts in Biblical Studies is no longer required for graduation. So they had a degree program for their nursing that they also had to get that BA in Biblical Studies. It's a small liberal arts Christian college, and that was the way they wanted to put their nursing program in place. So they have taken away the requirement for the completion of the Bachelor of Arts. They still have some courses related to that, but there's no longer required for both of those degrees to be attained in terms of getting their nursing degree. It was formally reviewed and they had a full faculty vote on that. So in the process of looking at then what their nursing program would look like, they wanted to ensure that students continue to receive a strong faith-based education through the nursing curriculum in a logical manner. So they revised some of the degree plan as it relates to the program, and they put in their whole curriculum, how they were doing that. So now I believe instead of, let me find it. I believe now instead of taking, I think it's gone from, well, it's a reduction. I think it decreases the overall program for the nursing student by 2 semesters. So they felt like that was a significant change in terms of being able to get nursing students who were interested in here. They also are asking for changes. They are proposing a course delivery change for 5 of their courses. They are putting in a hybrid delivery, would like to put in a hybrid delivery model. So it will be some on ground, some online, where formerly it had been all on ground. So they will have all of those are didactic courses. None of those are clinical. All clinical will still be in person. And then they've done some changes to their end of program student learning outcomes to look at their competencies and adjusted those slightly to make what they feel like is a stronger student-centered framework for those competencies. So some big changes, but overall, they make sense for their school and to hopefully be able to reduce the burden a little bit for the students. They're still getting their faith-based education, which was important to the college in terms of their nursing program. So overall, the nursing courses have not changed. And then other than the request to change those 5 didactic courses to a hybrid format rather than just strictly on ground. I hope that all made sense.
That made sense to me. Ms. Fields, Mr. Spain, do you have questions
No.
or
No.
discussion points?
Sounds like it's pretty inclusive.
And just to clarify, this is a Bachelor of Science in Nursing?
Yes, it is.
Wonderful. Wonderful. We have a motion prepared.
Yes. Is there a board member who would like to make the following motion? I move to accept the major curricular change request for Berkeley College BSN program to decrease in credit hours course delivery change, EPSLO change.
This is Fields, and I will make the motion to accept that as written.
Garcia, second. I'll call for a vote to support the motion as written. Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion has passed. Very good. So we'll move on to item G, Fortes Tech, North Central, Beloit, PN program.
That's the one we did already with, that's the same motion we
Oh,
just did with.
sure enough.
Yeah.
Sure
Yeah.
enough.
So we're done. We should be done.
Okay. Do we have WSU Tech?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we do. I apologize to WSU Tech.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about WSU Tech ADN program.
Okay, here we go. So no, that's okay. Sorry. I'm scrolling. I'm finding the next one.
You're
Okay, here
doing
we go.
amazing.
Well, if I had my 3 screens instead of 1, it would be helpful, but I don't. So we'll just go with it. This is for the ADN program at WSU Tech. They are in the process, or what they would like to do is they currently have all combined didactic and clinical courses. So they have it might be 6 credit hours, but it contains both. They would like to separate all of those courses into a didactic component and a clinical component. And a lot of that is for grading purposes and how those appear on transcripts. We're finding more and more, and I have that same problem when I review. If it doesn't say it's a clinical, we aren't for sure that it's a clinical and how many hours are involved. So they're doing this to help clarify what their curriculum is and to have a clear didactic and a clear clinical a course and a grade. And then I think they also would like a modality change for ADN 120 and 150, which I think they're moving to hybrid on those two. Oh no, they would like those to be delivered fully online. I'm trying to remember what 120 is their introduction to nursing concepts, and 150 is their nursing concepts 1. So those 2 courses they would like to move to basically from hybrid to fully online.
Wonderful. I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Go ahead and finish, and then I have a question.
No, I'm done.
Okay. So they're separating their 6-hour class into didactic and clinical.
Well, I use that as an example.
Okay. My question, and we can clarify this at another time, but will that make the hours easier to allow transfer to other schools?
It could possibly. I think sometimes, when they're looking at it varies, Madam Chair, across the states. But I think in terms of transferability, sometimes it's helpful to have separate courses, because if they have trouble in one course, a lot of times they have them retake both courses because it makes sense to the clinical, and that's why a lot of them don't separate it. But on the other hand, they can clearly see what the concepts are, which are clearly for didactic and which ones are clearly for clinical.
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question.
That makes great sense to me from a transferability and across the life of the student. But my questions
It's a great question.
have been answered. Mm-hmm. Ms. Fields or Mr. Spain, do you have any other questions?
Not at this time, no.
I think we'll.
Do we have a motion prepared?
We do. Is there a board member who will make the following motion? I move to approve or to accept the major curricular change request from WSU Tech ADN program to separate the didactic and clinical components of all ADN courses that have a clinical component while maintaining all credit hours in current curriculum, and 2, change modality for ADN 120 and ADN 150 to allow both courses to be taught as fully online courses. No change to credit hours or outcomes.
This is Fields, and I will move to accept that as written.
We appear to have dropped a call from the chair. I'm wondering if she accidentally hit the end button or lost a signal, potentially. So let me think. Mm. Maybe we can hold for just a second to see if she gets back on, if that's okay.
That's fine with me.
We almost made it to the end without a technical glitch. Appreciate the patience of the committee, staff, and our guests in attendance today as we navigate these new waters. We'll get better over time. I'm quite sure of it. Having flashbacks of our COVID years going through going through all these virtual meetings. It'll be nice to have the board on site. Okay, I believe she is reconnecting there, Colton, it appears. And in any moment, she will probably be back on.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Hello?
We almost
Yeah.
made it.
Okay. Sorry about that. I think we just sailed across a time zone. So,
Oh,
so I think we were preparing to call for a vote.
Mhm.
I will go ahead and second the motion that was on the table.
Okay, great. I'll call for a vote on the motion as written. Signal your support by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Spain?
Aye.
Wonderful. The motion has passed, and I believe that concludes the agenda as written.
Janelle has a question.
So, Janelle?
Yes, Madam Chair, I think
Please.
there is one point of procedure. We didn't read the full motion for Barclay. And I'm a little concerned if we
I'm
didn't
sorry.
read the full motion and have you, that was our fault. There were probably two of them there for Jill, and we needed the fuller motion so that gets into minutes that way, and that's what you approve. I want to make sure we get all those pieces in there correctly. So if you wouldn't mind to let Jill read the full motion again, and then if it still stands with your approval.
Yeah, I
Then we
apologize
will-
for that.
Wonderful.
So,
Wonderful.
So,
Jill?
yes, let me read
Go
it.
ahead.
It was, is there a board member who will make the following change to accept the major curricular change request for Barclay College BSN program to revise the degree plan for the BSN nursing program by removing the requirement for completion of a BA in biblical studies as a requirement of graduation, streamline program from 10 to 8 semesters, and sequencing changes to ensure simple to complex framework. Credit hours for degree decrease from 133 to 121 with no change to the core nursing program, which remains at 60 credit hours. Change mode of delivery for 5 nursing courses to hybrid modality NU 423, 325, 321, 403, and 425. And in the program, student learning outcomes updated to align with AACN 2021 essentials.
Do we have a board member that would support that motion?
I will move to accept that motion as it was redone.
Okay.
So we'll be voting on the second motion, and that would replace our earlier vote. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So very clear, we are voting on the motion just read, which will replace the earlier motion. And we have, I'll call a vote. Signal your support by saying aye.
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 Aye. The rewritten motion has passed. And thank you so much to both staff and to the board members who've taken their time to be here today for this really important work. So,
Yes, thank
When
you,
do
Madam
we
Chair,
meet
for dialing
next?
in as well. We really very much appreciate that. And we also, during the little timeout, we thank the guests online for their patience with us and for working with us as we go through these new processes.
Yes. Yeah. What we're doing is really important to everybody that's brought changes or had a site visit, and we want all of the schools to feel like we are hearing them and understanding what they're asking. So we look forward to our next meeting. Can you give us the date and time of the next Education Committee meeting?
Unless there is some change unforeseen to my knowledge at this point, I believe our next education meeting would be on, let's see, would that be the 15th of September?
August 15th of September.
Cool. Don't you? Yeah, 15th of September. The August meeting will be the board session, and will be specific to that unless something comes up that we're not aware of. And we will certainly make all appropriate notifications if that were to happen for some reason. And thank you again very much.
So I'd like to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
We don't actually need a motion to adjourn. We can just adjourn.
Okay, then we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Safe travels, everybody who's traveling.
Thank you.